Good morning, everyone, and happy Monday. Today, I thought we would play around a bit with a prop. This prop is called a magic circle. Now, some of you might have these at home. If so, great, grab it. Maybe dust it off, unless you've been using it every day. But yeah, grab your magic circle. And if you don't have a magic circle, don't worry. There's a couple options here. You can either use like a basketball, or basketballs can sometimes be a little tough. So maybe a soccer ball, any ball that is really not bigger than this, maybe shoulder width. A beach ball might work if it's small enough. Resistables, those big ones, are just a little too big. That won't quite cut it. If you don't have a ball or a magic circle in your house, you can either use a big fluffy pillow. It doesn't quite work as well, but it will do. Or you can actually use your hands. We mainly use the circle in 3 spots. 2 of the 3 you can use your hands for. In between the knees, outside the knees. And then we actually use a circle between our hands, in which case you won't have a prop there. You just sort of imagine what I call ballerina arms, elbows sort of turned out to the sides, and like you're hugging a big beach ball, giving a keg a hug. Sometimes I say hugging Santa Claus. Whatever gives you the idea of wrapping the arms. You can even think of hugging a tree. Just something big, and the pressure between the hands is like a chest press or chest fly machine at the gym. So there's this hugging concept. We actually touched on it last Monday with the moms. You're hugging towards your center line, hugging towards your center line. Props were developed just to help you find your muscles, when really, eventually, you don't need the props to find your muscles. Like you eventually start to do this and you go, oh, I feel my core engaging. I feel my chest muscles. I feel my arm muscles engaging. And I don't have a prop. I just feel the air, controlling the air. But to get us started in finding these connections in our bodies, Joe Pilates developed some props. So magic circle, if you have one, go ahead and grab it. We're going to start in a chair today. So if you need to grab a chair, go ahead and grab a chair. And last but not least, you can also grab a towel to use to find your lower back. I have had a couple of you ask questions about placement of the pelvis. The towel is not meant to support your back per se. It's meant to help you keep that natural curve in your low back. So just a quick example of this, and then we'll get going. So the towel, again, is used not to support the low back per se, but to help you not do this. So the towel goes under your low back, sort of helps you maintain that natural curve. So when we do things like float the knees, the towel's there sort of as a reminder to not do that. Look at my spine. Do you want to walk around with posture like this? No. You want long and engaged. So the pelvis is always sort of working towards its natural, or rather we're trying to stabilize the pelvis in its natural position with the spine, rather than tucking it or manipulating the low back to make exercises happen. Okay, so again, the towel is used as feedback rather than major support. But our goal is, in all of this work, to stabilize the spine and then move around it, right? So the magic circle will help with that. Kind of like weight training for the pelvic muscles. So we're going to sit in a chair. Check my little positioning here. It's sort of chilly this morning. It's going to get up to 80 today, but it's chilly this morning. So, okay, so circle goes in between and above the knees. It's going to look a little bit like a child labor prep class to start, I guess. Probably not the best thing taught on video, but to give you the idea of where it goes, this is the view you have to have, right? So I want your knees to fall wide and let them just relax so that you're not gripping the circle. I always say in class, this is not a thigh master. It's a magic circle, and I think it's called magical to help you find muscles in your core when the circle is far away from the core, okay? That's my interpretation. So take a big inhale. And as you exhale, just hug the circle gently and see if you can engage right through here, deepening. See how my body lifted? And then release the circle, release the hug. Take a big inhale. As you exhale, hug a little, deepen a lot. And then release the spine, release the hug. As you exhale, you hug a little, deepening the abs a lot. So if you feel a lot of work on the inner thigh and legs, see if you can lessen that a little bit and put more of the work through the core, through that lift sensation. And then release. Last two, hug the circle a little, deepen the abs a lot. And release. So if you can make the hug maybe 20% and the deepening of the abs 80% of the work, then we're starting to get pretty magical. And release. One more time, deepen the abs, hug the circle and lift. The circle just helping you find some muscles that help you lift. And then release. Now we hug a little, we lift a lot, 20%, 80% here. Now hold this lift, and we start to work that midline a little bit. Let the right knee release completely, and then hug the right knee in a little, deepening a lot. You release the right knee, the left knee stays stable. You deepen the abs, you hug, and you stay lifted. Continue. Now, if you have your circle or your ball, you keep that sensation. If you're using your hands, you're going to still hug the left knee gently into your left hand, and then the right knee releases, and then you hug the right knee in a little, and just notice if there's any sensation on the right side. Last two on the right side, releasing the right knee, then you hug a little and you deepen a lot up that right side of the body. And one more time, release. Hug a little, deepen a lot, and then let all that go. Then we shall do the other side. Hug the circle a little or into your hands and deepen and lift a lot. Then we hold the right side stable. It's almost like you're anchoring the leg bone to the spine. Then the left knee releases. You hug a little, you deepen a lot. Left knee releases. You hug the circle a little and you pull up, connecting that left thigh to the spine, and release. And I'm not just making up stuff. You actually have a muscle that connects your thigh bone to your spine. Release. It's called your psoas or your iliopsoas, but your psoas connects the thigh bone to your spine. And release. And when you have that muscle engaged, there's this stability, stalwartian, if that's a word. I don't think it is, but just this presence of connectedness and presence of stability, which is greatly needed for core strength. You hug the leg in a little, but you deepen up along the spine a lot. Again, this right leg is stable. Let's do one more time. Now, if you're not feeling anything or this doesn't feel like work, just try to relax your bigger muscles and let the deeper ones wake up. Because it won't feel like work. It'll feel like a lot of inner thigh work if you're doing it with your bigger muscles. And I want you to find these deeper stabilizing muscles today before we even begin our mat work. And then release completely, let everything go. You'll just see how everything kind of slouches. Okay, so take the circle now. Place it on the outsides of the knees, same position above the joint. You don't want to be on the joint. Or if you're not using the circle, please just place your hands on the sides of your knees. Same concept, different engagement. Press out a little and deepen up a lot. And release. So you can think of the hug on the inner thighs as waking up the front body connection. And then go ahead and release. And as I talk, you just keep working. And you can think of pressing out with the legs, waking up the back body connection, the muscles surrounding the pelvis. And release. So the press is a little, we're not trying death grip in the glutes or in our hip muscles. We're just engaging a little so that our pelvis, or our spine rather, has an ability to lift out of the pelvis. And release. You can't move bones if you don't engage muscle. So that's what we're doing here. And release. Last time, press, lift. Good. And then release completely. Nice. So taking your circle out now this last one, again, if you don't have a circle, you have to have very powerful imagination. Okay, so you hug your circle. Now, you're going to start at your heart. So again, if you don't have a circle, you can actually press your hands into each other. Let's do that today. You press your hands into each other, almost prayer position, but then direct the fingers towards me. Elbows out to the side. With your circle, it's the same thing, but you just have a wider stance per se with your hands. You're going to hug gently either into your other hand or into your ball or circle, and then release the hug. Do the same thing with your spine. As you hug, feel like you're lengthening your spine, and then release. Entire crown circle magnetized to the ceiling. As you hug, you lift, and you ground your root in opposition, and release. And next time, hug the circle a little, lift a lot, and then start to reach the circle either towards me or away from you, to where your elbows stay soft but turned out. Release the circle or your ball, bring the circle or your hands back to your heart. Hug the circle, lift your spine, deepen your abs. And as you press the circle away from you, shrink wrap your rib cage back towards your spine. Crown still lengthening, sits bones rooting to the floor, and release. Again, I'll give you a side view here so you can see what's going on. So you have your circle. You hug, you lengthen your spine, and then as the circle reaches away, you sort of gently pull the rib cage back away from the circle. So you're vertically lifted, and then you're shrink wrapped around your center. And release. Last time, hug the circle, lengthen your spine, and press that circle away. Deepening the abs, lengthening tongue, and then releasing completely. All right, so let's bring ourselves down to the mat. Bring your circle or your ball with you. You can see we set up a hammock for the kiddos. So now I have a new backdrop. Okay, so we're going to start with the circle between the knees. Legs wide. Again, we don't want thigh master work. We want ab work and core work and deep psoas work. So you're going to hug the circle gently and see if you can lift out of that low back. And then hugging the circle, keep hugging and hollow out your abs. Notice I didn't move here. Just hollow out here and deepen that in and up feeling along the spine. Then you release the hug, let your spine kind of slouch. Hug the circle, lift your spine vertically. Stay lengthened, and then start to hollow out your ribs. Notice again, the low back does not change shape. If I could post that with words across the class, I guess I could go and say, don't let your low back change its shape. I would do that. I might do that if I learn how to use all these things on the computer to do cool effects like that. Go ahead and release the circle, let your spine slouch just here. Lift, and we only slouch so you learn what your spine shouldn't feel like. Hug the circle, hollow out the ribs. Now right there, imagine hugging the circle with the hands and press gently into your thighs, deepening that connection. Holding that, and start to hinge. Now again, you're not changing the shape of your spine, you're just moving your pelvis back. And then you move your pelvis and spine forward. Okay, 2 more. Pelvis and spine move back. Pelvis and spine move forward. So you've created a shape with your spine. You've stabilized it, and now it's moving in space. You're not changing the shape of your spine. 1 more time. Go back, and then come all the way up and release. Now take that circle, place it on the outsides of the knees, and lie yourself down. If you would like to place your towel underneath your low back, please do so now. Now to release this, you're going to press into the circle a little and just press the hips up. Now if you've been using a ball, of course you can't use it on the outside of the legs. So you're just going to imagine pressing into resistance. And then lower your hips and release. Again, press into the circle, lift your hips. And then lower the hips and release. 1 more time, press into the circle, lift. And obviously it's a little tough to do with the hands at this point, in this position. So again, using your imagination to press and release any tightness that's built up in the hip socket. And then lower down and release. Okay, grab your circle. Last couple of prep exercises before we get into our mat work. Now hug into the circle, deepening the abs without tucking the spine. And then start to press the circle away as you deepen your ribs towards the floor. Right there, just start to pump gently on the circle. And as you pump gently on the circle, take a big inhale for 5 pumps. And then exhale for 5 pumps. In for 5, and exhale. As you do this, plug your shoulders on your back, lengthening your neck, and deepening the abs. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. Good. Now from here, keep hugging the circle, float the right knee into tabletop. Low back doesn't change shape. Float the left knee into tabletop. And then let the feet just fall completely. And from here, lift your head and shoulders, anchoring your tailbone. And now start to pump. Right away, you'll know if your neck is okay with this. And if it's not, you put your circle down and your hands support your head. But you're inhaling for 5 pumps and exhaling for 5 pumps. We'll do 2 more with the ball or circle. If you don't have a ball or circle, you can practice here. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now hold. Place the circle down or the ball and stack the hands behind your head, pressing back so your throat lengthens. Extend the right leg if your spine is okay with it today. Extend the left leg and press your head back in opposition. Reach your arms long by your side and let's finish our 100 here. Big inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. Big inhale. Big exhale. One more time, inhaling into your back. See, I had to lengthen my low back there a little bit. Make sure you keep it long. Bend your knees, lower your head, lower the legs, and release. You're going to take your circle or your ball and set it up between the heels. If you don't have a ball or a circle, you can just make your feet as wide as your hips and imagine hugging into something that creates that lift, right? We go all the way down, arms to the ceiling for our roll-up. Inhale to lift the upper body. As you exhale, press either into the floor or into the air and lift up out of that low back. As you exhale, stretch forward, hollow out your ribs, lifting out of your low back. Stack your spine up and lift. Start to hinge back, reaching your heels away from you. Plug the shoulders, and then as you exhale, roll down 2, roll down 1, and release. Inhale to lift the upper body. Exhale, press, deepening as you lift. Again, use your hands if you cannot maintain the lift without the hands. Drop the head, hollow out the ribs as you lift out of your low back with a gentle hug. Stack the spine up. And here's your opposition. Your pelvis and spine are moving this way. The heels are gently pressing away and hugging towards each other to connect. And stabilize that low back. Inhale to lift the upper body. Exhale, we come all the way up. Lift. Here's where we hollow out. We exhale. We do not change our lumbar shape. We just hollow out the ribs. Stack our spines. Hinge back. Reach the heels as you hug gently, and then press into the air as you go back. One final time, inhale to lift. Exhale, we come all the way up, 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 up. Stretch and breathe out. Now, if you are flinging to get up, I will never know, but you will know, and that's not good for you, okay? So if you're flinging or using momentum or holding your breath, please use your hands. Training wheels have a purpose. And it's not a cop-out. It actually makes you stronger. You have to use the right muscles or else none of this is really beneficial, okay? With that, you can gracefully bring the circle to your hands or sit up, grab it, whatever gets the circle up here. Legs together now for our single leg circles. You're gonna hug the circle right above the heart. Now watch this area. The light is in my favor today for you to see stuff happen, okay? Release. So there's this gentle connection where the obliques gently invite the ribs, stabilizing this whole area. And then release. Hugging the circle helps you find that feeling. Okay? I'm not tugging, by the way. I'm pulling the ribs gently towards the earth. So you do the same. Hug the circle or your ball or your imagination. Gently invite the ribs to the floor. Float the right knee up, letting the right foot just dangle. Now see if you can pull that thigh bone towards you without the pelvis changing shape. And then lower. And again, the thigh bone comes towards you without the pelvis moving. Easier said than done. And release. One more time. Let that foot be heavy so it's not your quad doing the work. Not your thigh muscle, that deep psoas. Then slowly extend the leg up. Keep hugging, and we draw our circle across and down, out to the side, and pull up. Go across and down, out to the side, and pull, and across and down. You're lengthening the head as you plug your shoulders. So we really don't want tension in the neck at all. Pull up, now change direction. Your goal is for your core to not move. As the leg challenges, pull up, out, and down. Remember what it felt like to hug that magic circle and feel it here. Do the same thing when you're making your circle. You hug the leg towards the midline and you feel work here. You might need to keep the knee bent to really get into your core muscles. Sometimes a straight leg just gets you right in your quad. Lower that leg down, release the hug on your circle. Gently press into the circle, deepen the ribs towards the floor, and then float that left knee, foot just dangling. And we lower the thigh bone. Then we deepen and we lift the thigh bone. Can you move your leg without your pelvis shifting? That is what we're trying to do. And we breathe, right? Some of this work will make you stiffen up. We don't want stiff, we want stable. One more time. Pull up, deepen. You either stay bent or you extend the leg. And then we circle across the body, down, out to the side. Exhale, pull the leg up, and across, and down. Big exhale, and pull up. Last two, across, and down. Lengthening the thigh, lengthening the neck. One more. Deepen as you breathe out. Now reverse. Inhale out and down. Big exhale and pull up and out. Big exhale and pull up. Last two. Big exhale and pull up. One more. Big exhale and pull up. Lower that leg all the way down. Reach your arms behind you. Stretch. Beautiful. And then go ahead and place the circle to the side. For our abs series, you're going to float your upper body up. We will not have the magic circle. We're all going to find connections with our hands. So you float the right knee in for single leg stretch. Now your left palm is going to press on the inside of the right knee. So this knee is hugging towards the midline. Your other hand is going to gently grab the shin and sort of pull the foot out. So the knee, ankle, and nose are all in one line. Lengthen that tailbone and plug. And then we switch. Push your knee into your hand, gently aligning the spine, or the leg with your spine. And switch. Press into your hand. And switch. Press into your hand. And switch. The thigh moves, the pelvis does not. And switch. If it's too much, hands can always come back here. And switch. Hug. And switch. Hug. The midline. Last two. The circle is designed to help you find this midline, this line that divides you from left to right. It's the line of your spine. And one. And then both knees in, press your head back to release any tension. Now double leg stretch can be done with the circle or without. If you want it to be more of a challenge, use the circle. You place it between and above the ankles, or your beach ball can go there. Drop your legs for a moment. Anchor the tailbone, and then let those ribs sink towards the floor, right? Like you're knitting. Sew them together. Stack the hands behind the head to start. We inhale as we extend the legs away. Using the magic circle helps you connect to your core, but it's also like adding a dumbbell. So it's like adding weight to the exercise. So if you extend your legs and your low back is changing shape, it might be too much. Okay? And in. As you breathe out this time, press the legs. And then inhale, come in. Last two, press. And inhale, come in. One more time, press. And then inhale, come in. Lower your legs, lower your head and shoulders. Very nice work. Now we're just going to go right to crisscross for this last one. I'm going to have you place the circle outside the knees. You can do it that way, or if it's uncomfortable, you can put your legs through like a baby hula hoop and press your thighs into the pads. Okay, you have some options there. But in any case, you're pressing gently to anchor the sides of the bum. Arms float to the ceiling, and you lift, knitting, but not tucking, right? Stack the hands behind the head and twist to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, come center. And then exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, come center. Twist to the right as you breathe out. Inhale, come center. And twist to the left. Good. Now we breathe out, we float the knees up, the thigh bones. Inhale, come center, lower your legs to the floor. Exhale, twist to the left. Hinge at the hip, the thighs move, not the spine. Inhale, come center. Twist to the right. Now as you're twisting, you are moving your spine, but guess what? The low back is not moving. Inhale, center. You're twisting through your ribs. And twist to the left. Inhale, center. One more each way. You should be feeling this just a tad, right? Inhale as you lower. And one more time. Exhale. You deepen the rib cage towards the floor as you twist. Inhale, center, and then you lower down. Go ahead and take your circle off. So anytime we're twisting or sitting up or doing crunches, we're not trying to shorten we're not trying to shrink this way. We're trying to flatten in a sense. None of you want to walk around like this. I just know it. So we're trying to lengthen you even when you're strengthening. That way you get strong in the length, you know? Especially with twisting. I see all sorts of things happen when people twist. You know, they're tucking, crunching. You want to stay lifted. So we're going to go into spine stretch forward. Circle is going to go between the heels. I was going to show you from the front as well, but I'll do a side view first here. So you're going to hug into the circle, lift out of your low back. You sort of anchor the glutes. You might need to move the meat. Stretch. And then exhale, drop your head as you breathe out. And then inhale, stack your spine back up. As you exhale, close that door, buddy. Breathe out, deepen the ribs, and you're hollowing out, lifting out of here. You can gently press the backs of the thighs towards the floor. And then inhale, stack back up. As you exhale, deepen the ribs, stretch forward. Start to go a little further, hollowing out the ribs. And then inhale, stack your spine back up. Last two. All your air. Stretch it out. Inhale, stack your spine back up. And one more time, big exhale, deepen the ribs. Like a seatbelt is holding your ribs back and your arms and head want to go forward and down. And then stack your spine up and lift. You guys need to close the door, please. Please close the door. Here's Maddie. You want to say hi? Okay, now we're going to do a twist. Ow. Can you go inside? It's a nice, I mean, she's cute, right? Okay. Stretching, lifting, and then we twist for saw. I don't know what I said. I think I said spine twist. I was distracted. This is saw. So you hug this circle again. We're trying to find that midline. We twist, and then you stretch. Now this front hand is going towards the pinky toe. This back hand presses to the sky, and your ribs lift up off your hips. All we're doing is trying to create as much space as possible in the spine, and then strengthen it. So we twist. We don't get lost in the twisting. We, in fact, lift out of the twist. This hand presses, and it helps lift these ribs up off my hips. Stretch, 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 high five the sky. Inhale, stack your spine up. And watch this as I hug the circle. See that? Just a subtle shift in the spine. And then we stretch. You high-five the sky and you hook the ribs under your chest. Plug that shoulder. Inhale, stack. And twist. As you exhale, press the palm up to the sky. Feel your ribs hook under your chest. And stretch. One more each way. Now, if your hips are screaming at you right now, kinking or getting tight, go ahead and release. You can round for a moment while you lie down on the mat. And then once you're ready, lift back up and stretch. Or, for next time, you can sit on a bolster. Stretch. And lift up. And then release. Flip onto your front for single leg kicks. Now here, I'll give you a view here just so you can see for a minute what your hands will look like. You're gonna have your palms on your circle. The ball might not work here because it's round and your hands would have to be up here for it to work. So place the ball to the side. If you don't have the circle, you imagine hugging. So the hug now creates lift throughout the entire spine. It always creates lift through the entire spine, but now you really see it from the top of the head. So we're gonna just hang out, relax. Then we hug our circles and we lift out of the floor. We hold that and then pull your abs up, right? And then we kick, kick, and lower. Kick, kick, and lower. Just as lifted and kick, kick, and lower. Keep your abs lifted and hugging your circle, plugging the shoulders. Last two, kick, kick, and lower. One more, kick, kick, lower. And now we come to my favorite exercise ever, which is double leg kick. It's my favorite with the circle, okay? Because you will find, if done correctly, these triceps that are so tough to access sometimes. And I'll show you what I mean. So you're gonna be like not even hugging the circle. Your hands are simply touching the circle. If, again, you don't have a circle, you can press your hands into the sides of your thighs. It's about the same width, okay? So we're here. Now you press gently and just practice this part first. You're gonna extend your elbows fully. You're gonna plug your shoulders and then you're gonna pull your abs up. Now you're looking at the mat once you've watched enough to know what you're supposed to do. And then you gently press the pinky side of your hand into the circle. And at that point, you should feel your triceps working, maybe even a stretch across the shoulder. But your abs are deep. You're reaching your fingertips towards your feet, and you're hugging the pinky side of your hand into the circle. Then you lower, and you can release. Let's do that again. Reach your arms, gently pressing into the circle just enough. And you lengthen your neck as you draw your shoulders away from your ears. Gently press the pinky side of your palm into the circle, lowering down and release. If you're looking towards the camera, or if you're not, please look towards the camera. We're not grabbing the circle like this. You are simply holding it in space with the palms. Again, each side. Reach the arms, lengthen the back of your neck, and deepen your abdominals as you press the pinky side of the hand into the circle or into your thighs. If done correctly, you'll still feel it quite a bit. And then lower and release. And one more time, press into the circle, lengthen the back of your neck. If you do not feel this in your triceps, please email me. I will help you find them. Keep lengthening. You might not have fully straight arms. In fact, you probably don't want fully extended arms to really feel this, but you're trying. Once you find the muscles, then you try to extend. And then lower and release. Now we do it with flow, and this is adding the legs, right? So we kick 3 times, 2, 1. Lower the legs, extend, and open your heart as you deepen your abs. Lower, look to the side, and we kick 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs, reach your arms, and lengthen the back of your neck. One more time each way. Kick 3, 2, 1. Then we lengthen. Deepen your abdominals. And last time, kick 3, 2, 1. Lower the legs. Reach the arms and lengthen for 3, for 2, for 1. And lower and release. Sit back on your heels and stretch. Woo, triceps are burning. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. So just a couple more and you'll be all done with your workout for today. We'll do our bridge here, grabbing your circle. Place it between the knees. Feet anchored and arms long by your side. Right here, we're going to change the shape of our low back. You're going to get to tuck. Then you hug the circle just a little. And then keep hugging the circle, but try to release the tuck. And then let the circle go. Okay? So we hug a little, we tuck a lot. You hold the tuck. You hold the hug. And then while you're hugging, try to anchor your tailbone down. And then release. One more time that sequence. Hug a little, tuck a lot. You would shrink wrap, but just, you're tucking. Keep the hug and lengthen your tailbone. Now keeping that long tailbone, bridge your hips up like you're painting a line up the wall with your tailbone. Right there, I want you to release the hug and then hug a little. Release the hug, hug a little. Release the hug and hold, and then lower your hips all the way down and release the hug completely. Hug a little. You can tuck if you need to feel the difference. Like if you're tucking already, untuck, but keep the hug. Then push your hips up. Okay? At the top, you hold it. You release the hug, you hug a little. You release the hug, you hug a little. Release and hug. Hold that lengthening your throat. And then paint a stripe down that far wall. And release. One final time. Hug the circle. If you wind up tucking, sometimes you're just automatically doing it. You don't even realize. Drop the tailbone. Not so you're crazy arching, but just so you release any tucking. Keep the abs engaged, and then the whole pelvis and spine moves as one piece up. You've got these nice open hips. You might want to take a quick note in your body. Is your navel higher than your ribs? Sorry, are your ribs higher than your navel? You want your ribs to be shrink wrapped, so everything's stable. Hip sockets should be open and the highest. Ribs should be shrink wrapped. And then lower your hips all the way down. Place the circle on the outside of the knees and press. Okay? Then bringing yourself up, we'll go to our side kick series. So the circle here will be in front of you. Now you can't see the bottom of the circle, but your hand is on top or on top of your beach ball, and you're pressing gently down to find that shrink wrap or knitted ribs engagement. Your hand can be under your head, or your head can be resting on your arm. Now your knees are going to bend today, and as you hug the circle, extend the top leg out the height of your hip. As you exhale, pull the leg forward, deepening your rib cage, and then reach the leg back, pulling in. The leg moves forward, and the leg moves back. And the leg moves forward, so you're hinging here, you're deepening your ribs, and reach back. I'm always fascinated with how the sides feel so different, to me anyways. And feedback from clients, usually they say the same thing, As this leg moves, do you notice the back wanting to arch more? Do you notice the back wanting to tuck? Just pay attention. And then use your breath to help, right? As you breathe out, you exhale, pulling the leg forward. You can inhale, press the leg back. Last two, you're hugging gently as you plug your shoulder on your back. And then reach back. And one more time, pull forward. And then reach back. Good. And then extend the legs long, turn both legs out so you have like a ballerina turnout. Lift the top leg just hip height and then lift the bottom one to match. The bottom leg lowers. Bottom leg lifts. Bottom leg lowers. One more time and turn out, lift. Then rotate both legs parallel, lower the bottom leg. And then we lift and lower. So you imagine hugging into the circle. There's a series we do where we actually put the circle between the ankles. Last two. So just imagine that circle between the ankles and you're hugging up into the circle. And lower. Reach the arms, reach the legs, and then roll onto your other side. And I'll turn here. So same setup. This circle is in line with your heart. Legs are out to start, and you press down in the circle to deepen the ribs. Bend the bottom knees, and then plugging your shoulders, extend the top leg, right? And you pull the leg forward, and then reach back. And pull forward, deepening the abs. As you reach back, shrink wrap those abs, really moving with control. And pull the leg forward, and back. The last couple here. Bringing that concept of 20-80 back. So 20% work in the leg, 80% work in the core. In this posture, it might feel more like 30-70. The leg does have to do some work to hold it in space. But I don't want you to forget that your core has a major responsibility here, and it can get lost in the kicking of the leg. Hold on to your abs. Use the circle to help you find the connections you need to stay stable. One more time as the leg challenges you. And reach. And then extend both legs, turn out. Lift the top leg up, hip height, and the bottom leg comes up to meet. And lower. Hug into the circle, stay stable in your core. And lower. And lift. Turn parallel, and the top leg stays. The bottom leg lifts and lowers. Keeping the hips stacked on top of each other. And lower. One more time, lift, hold, deepen, and lower everything, and release. Stretch. And then go on to your back for teaser. Our last exercise of the day. Reaching your circle above your heart. Now, if you needed your arms to support you in your roll up, you're not going to use a circle here. You're going to be using your hands to help you come up. Okay? If you feel okay, you're going to turn those elbows out. Hug the circle and deepen. You saw it, right? Press your legs to create stretch. Inhale to lift the upper body. And you exhale. You start to come up and you lift. Oh, I collapse a little bit. Lifting out of that low back, right? Now, hugging your circle, you're going to lower and lift the legs. You can even work with them bent, right? And lift. You're moving the thighs, not just your feet. One more. Lower and lift, hug, stabilize, and lower everything back down. Whew. Inhale to lift the upper body. As you exhale, using your arms if you need to help you come up. Up, we lift, lift, lift. If you have the circle, you can place it above the ankles for extra hard work. Extend the legs and bend. Extend, staying lifted out of your low back. I care about this. Don't collapse. Extend, grab your circle, and then lower everything back down. Our last one. Lengthen the neck. Inhale to lift the upper body. As you exhale, pull everything up. Bending the knees if you need to. We lift. Extend the arms up by your ears. Extend the legs. And we lower the spine and the legs a little. And then we pull everything back up. Lower. It's here. It's this connection. Lift. Lower. Pull your pelvis forward as you lift. Oh, it's so hard. And then lower everything down. Release. Stretch. And smile. Because you're finished. Thank you very much for playing around with the magic circle today. If you've gotten this far and you don't have a circle, you can, and you liked it, you want to try it, you can get them on Amazon. If you're in town, I have 8 that you can borrow right now because we're not teaching classes with them. So if you need one, let me know. Just send me a message. But otherwise, yeah, you can find them on Amazon. I'm trying to think where else. Any sports place usually has these. So yes, this will be the last recording for a couple of weeks, as we're going to sort of change format with our Pilates Brevard exercise regime for the summer, per se. So just stay tuned. I'll be sending an email out at the end of the week to those of you on the email list. If you're watching these and you're not on the email list, by the way, just message me on YouTube or through social media, and we can get connected, and I'll send you emails each week with updates. In any case, I'll also announce it on social media. But yeah, there'll be a little shift. I call it the phase 1 rollout of Pilates Brevard. So be on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, have a wonderful week. Keep practicing. And as always, reach out if you have any questions. Thanks so much, and have a good day.